Sikona, Sisebelandala, which is Zulu for we're still here, following the ways of our ancestors. Kwanzaa brings a cultural message which speaks to the best of what it means to be African and human in the fullest sense. The celebration then will of necessity be engaged as an ancient and living cultural tradition which reflects the best of African thought and practice, and its reaffirmation of the dignity of the human person in community and culture, the well-being of family and community, the integrity of the environment and our kinship with it, and the rich resource and meaning of a people's culture. Communities organize activities around the Nguzo Saba, the Seven Principles. These principles are Umoja, unity, Kujichagulia, self-determination, Ujima, collective work and responsibility, Ujamaa, cooperative economics, Nia, purpose, Kuumba, creativity, and Imani, faith.
Umoja, to strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. Our family of brothers and sisters span the whole wide world, and each community they live in becomes stronger because of their desire to create and build a deeper representation of our culture and heritage that they can express to their neighbors and friends.
Karanga states that if unity is in essence a principle, it is no less a practice as are all the other principles.
The second day of Kwanzaa is represented by the principle Kujichagulia, or self-determination. This principle occurs on December 27th and means to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves.
There's an individual by the name of Molefi Asante who coined the term Afrocentricity. Many people have heard of Eurocentric because usually the school systems that many of us go to are Eurocentric, white-centered. Afrocentric basically is African-centered. What he said, Molefi Asante says, is not, you don't seek to deny or deform others' history and humanity, but to affirm, rescue, and reconstruct its own, particularly after the Holocaust of enslavement, or some people call it the slave trade, and various other forms of oppression. Afrocentricity at its cultural best is an ongoing quest for historical and cultural anchor, a foundation on which we raise our cultural future, ground our cultural production, and measure their authenticity and value. Moreover, Afrocentricity is an ongoing critical reconstruction directed toward restoring lost and missing parts of our historical self-formation or development as a people.
Ujima, based on the idea that the life and overall well-being of an individual is based on that of the community. We all grew up with the saying, "It takes a village to raise a child," and the word Ujima reflects the idea perfectly. When a young person can reach out into their community to find the support they need to grow and flourish, it clearly displays the strength of the community and how their guidance has helped mold future generations. Our ancestors sacrificed a lot for us to have the freedoms we have today, and every day our community continues to grow stronger because we have so many different resources and role models that can help individuals and groups become successful.
Ujima as a principle and practice also means that we accept the fact that we are collectively responsible for our failures and setbacks, as well as our victories and our achievements. The principle of collective work and responsibility also points to the fact that African freedom is indivisible. It shelters the assumption as long as any African anywhere is oppressed, exploited, enslaved, or wounded in any way in her or his humanity, all African people are awesome. It thus rejects the possibility or desirability of individual freedom in any unfree context. Instead, it poses the need for struggle to create a context in which all can be free.
Ujamaa, to build and maintain our stores, shops, and other businesses and to profit from them together. Creating and preserving a vibrant entrepreneurial environment is necessary for communities to grow. With each coming new business, more jobs are created and more opportunities for economic growth arise for each person that is invested in the expansion of these entrepreneurial dreams. Shopping local and supporting Black-owned businesses help to establish a network of businesses that you can promote by word of mouth.
Ujamaa literally means familyhood and suggests a sharing of work and wealth in the manner of a family. It grows out of the fundamental communal concept that social wealth belongs to the masses of people who created it, and that no one should have such an unequal amount of wealth that it gives him or her the capacity to impose unequal, exploitative, or oppressive relations on others.
NIA, purpose. To make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. NIA teaches us that we must use our talents, our wisdom, our skills, and our resources in service to our people and our community.
One way I do this is expressing myself through my art. And when I make a piece I really like, I share it with my friends and community in order to uplift them.
Mary Bethune talks about purpose in one of her books. She says that we are both heirs and custodians of a great legacy. But to be a custodian of a great legacy is to guard, preserve, expand, and promote it. It is to honor it by building on and expanding it, and in turn leaving it as an enriched legacy for future generations. Franz Fanon, a theorist, he says each generation must, out of relative obscurity, discover its mission and then fulfill it or betray it. The mission, he suggests, is always framed within the larger context of the needs, hopes, and aspirations of the people.
Kuumba. To do always as much as we can in the way we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it.
Yeah, it's a commitment to being creative within the context of the national community vocation of restoring our people to their traditional greatness, and thus leaving our community more beautiful and beneficial than we, each generation, inherited. The principle has both a social and spiritual dimension, and is deeply rooted in the social and sacred teachings of African societies. These concepts of restoration and progressive perfection, which are key concepts in the philosophy of Kawaida, and which reflected the fundamental cultural thrust of the 1960s, informed the conception and development of Kwanzaa.
On the last day of Kwanzaa, when we light the final candle, we celebrate Imani, or faith. That means honoring our best traditions as a family and community.
To believe with all our heart in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. Imani incorporates all of the principles into a solid foundation for us to move forward as a capable, determined, and righteous people.
Faith is put forth as the last principle, as unity is put forth as the first principle, for a definite reason. It is to indicate that without unity, we cannot begin our most important work. But without faith, we cannot sustain it. Unity brings us together and harnesses our strength. But faith in each other and the good, the right, the beautiful inspires and sustains the coming together and the commitment to take the work to its end. Mary Bethune, again, she taught us saying the greatest faith is faith in the Creator, but great also is faith in ourselves. Without faith, she states, nothing is possible. With it, nothing is impossible. As I turn you over to the Urban League, I'll leave you with Heri za Kwanzaa. Heri za Kwanzaa means happy Kwanzaa. And in what will be called the 7 Harambe's. Harambe means let's all pull together. Harambe, 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 Harambe. Kwaheri Tutana.